Yep.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good
How's
morning,
things?
Mitch.
Uh, we don't have a Norel on this one. She's
Oh,
she's got the sniffles. She's
oh,
actually
poor
just
thing.
there.
Join the club, Narelle.
I'm going to leave you. There's not enough
Okay.
tissues.
Oh,
Oh. Yeah, fair call. Don't get too close to Mitch.
No, no. So I think we're actually just move that cord. Yeah. So how's things?
things are great.
Yeah.
We're not going to complain. We're not down in cold Melbourne at the moment, so we're all good.
I just turned the air conditioner on and the heater on the air conditioner in this van just to warm it up a little bit. It is cold. Anyway.
Cold.
We could just imagine.
Well, I think we're getting to about 10 degrees overnight here at the moment, but during the day it's early to mid 30s. So
But
it's
the
beautiful.
Kimberley is like that. It seems to be really comfortable overnight.
It is.
Yes.
It is.
To,
we
to,
do
to have a
climate
decent sleep.
Yeah. Yeah. What's the temperatures
Right.
down in Melbourne at the moment?
I think 11 degrees today.
As the top.
Or 12 degrees is the top. I think tomorrow's worse. So,
Oh.
yeah, it's ugly.
No.
Ugly.
Any rain?
This afternoon's going to get ugly.
Yeah.
It's going to get
Yeah.
really, really filthy. Nice background. Whereabouts are you at the moment? Leonard River?
No, we're actually at Mount Hart Wilderness Lodge.
Yes.
Out in their bush camping
Oh,
section.
Mount Hart. Okay,
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah. We weren't
And
originally
what-
going to be coming out here, but we looked at some reviews and that sort of thing and thought we've never been out here before, so we may as well take a look. And it is beautiful out
What's
here.
the 50k trek with 30 river crossings and
Yeah. So is that a river behind you or?
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's Talbot Creek.
I think so. Yeah.
I think.
A croc-free one?
We've been swimming in it.
We think so.
Maybe a couple
There's a
little
little
freshies.
designated swimming area just down. So they said that you might get the occasional freshie through here, but that's it. So
That's about it.
nothing to worry about.
Okay, nice.
The road out here though was interesting. It was 50 kilometers off of the Gibb to come out to here. And
Yeah.
you have around 20 creek crossings to go through. Some of them are quite deep, and the road
Really?
itself is completely trash. So it took us almost 2 hours, I think, in the end to do the 50Ks,
Yeah.
but really good fun.
Many people out there?
More than we were expecting.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
We
So
didn't do
there
that
would
one,
be-
so
It's beautiful out here.
There'd probably
Yeah,
be
okay.
about 50 setups in the campground, but it's quite a big area, so you can spread out.
yeah, okay, nice. All right. Well, even though we're recording, I suppose we'll start it in a second then, and we'll just refresh all of that and
Yep.
go through a few bits and pieces. I don't know. We'll
Yeah,
just play it
that's
by ear. Play it by ear
We've got
like
the questions
like
ready
last
to go.
time.
It seemed to work last time.
Yeah. And
We've
I
got the
think,
Yeah.
hopefully everyone, people that watch it get a bit of an update of what's happening. And I don't know how many
Yeah.
views we ended up with last time, but
I
700 or
could take a
800, I
look.
think.
Yeah.
700 or
It was close up
800, I
to
think.
1,000,
So,
Yeah.
if there's a little bit of, if it helps someone along the way,
Yeah.
and keeps up with what you guys are doing,
Oh, we're happy to do these things. We enjoy them.
it's something different.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
it's, 8 o'clock in the morning. I suppose you've been up for an hour or two.
Yeah, about 2. I was up at 5.
Yeah.
Alan was still asleep.
I got off about
Okay.
5:30.
I don't blame him. That's
Yeah, but it's up with the sun, so we
yeah, okay.
were in bed by 9 o'clock last night.
Yeah.
9.
Sun goes
What do they
down
got
at
there at Mount
5:30.
Hart? Have they got a little bistro area and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Yeah. They've got a little cafe type thing as well as a bar and communal fire and that sort of thing. But they also do a
Bit of live music.
They did the night before.
Because it was Sunday. So
Yeah.
I wonder if
I think
they
they do it on certain days.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. But Mount
They
Hart's
do
known
also
for
do-
its beef, isn't it? Do they? Oh no, that's Mount Elizabeth, I think.
That'd
That's
be
Mount
Mount Elizabeth. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even know what Mount Hart is known for because it's conservation out here. So
Yeah. You go through cattle station to get to here, but then it's classed as conservation land. So all the gorges are part of conservation and all that sort of thing as well. So,
Okay.
but they're beautiful though.
Yep. So you've been for a wander around?
we have.
Yeah. Yesterday we went out to Matthew Gorge.
Yep.
That was really pretty out there, and you can swim and all that sort of gear as well. So
Nice.
today we'll go out to
Barker's Pool.
Barker's Pool,
Yeah.
which is another one that's out here.
Barker's
So
All
yeah,
right.
that'll be today's plans.
Okay. We'll get this started then.
Let's do it.
Okay. All right. Welcome, Allan and Jess. How's
Thank
Thanks
things
for having us,
going?
Mitch. Things are fantastic, to be completely honest.
Yeah.
So looks like the start you're currently sitting there on the Gibb River Road somewhere. Whereabouts are you?
So we're actually out at Mount Hart Lodge, Wilderness Lodge, but they've got bush camping. So it's just a massive area, and we managed to score a spot right by the river.
Yeah, we think it's called the Talbot Creek.
Yeah.
I think, yeah.
Looks good behind you.
Oh,
It's
it's a
beautiful.
beautiful
Looks
little spot.
quite
this one.
pleasant behind you. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Mount Hart, obviously you started from the Derby end, the Broome end of, and heading sort of west to east.
Yes.
What's the plan?
We don't go with a plan.
Yeah,
We never have a plan.
I know. I should have realised that. So you started on the Gibb a few days ago, week ago?
About 5 days ago.
Yeah. So we left Derby. We stopped off in the Leonard River Free Camp for a couple of nights. From there, we did Winjana Gorge and Tunnel Creek, both which were absolutely unreal. Really
You
enjoyed
see the
them.
little freshies in Tunnel
There
Creek?
was a few in there.
What
There
there
was
was,
definitely a few
okay.
swimming around.
Yeah.
We didn't have very good head torches or lights, so we couldn't actually spot them, but someone who was walking around had a really good spotlight, so we were able to see at least one or two.
Yeah.
So
How was the
I don't know
nerves?
which was better.
I was fine. Jess had a little moment, little freak out going through, because the water at the moment through Tunnel Creek was up to my chest. So you were getting quite deep in
It was
there.
pretty
So
deep.
Yeah, I think when we went through, we actually had to swim probably for about 20 or 30 meters where we couldn't touch the bottom.
Yeah.
Thankfully, we could still touch.
Yeah, okay.
All
right, so
the road itself is quite interesting because it's actually all sealed all the way out to the Leonard River Free Camp area now, right up to Leonard River. It's all sealed bitumen and all that sort of thing.
Yeah, it's like about 100K now, isn't it? Of sealed road.
Yeah.
So it's gradually becoming sealed all the way through by the looks.
It is. When we did it 3 years ago, there was pretty much no sealed road out here or anything like that. Now, a lot of the creek crossings have been sealed and put sealed bottoms on them as well. So all the creek crossings are nothing now. They're very, very easy driving.
Well, up to here.
Up to here, at least.
On the Gibb.
And the road out to Mount Hart?
Horrendous.
Sealed?
No, it's not horrendous. It's 50 Ks from the Gibb. So I think someone calculated, we were talking to someone at the communal campfire last night, and they said they counted 20 crossings.
20 creek crossings.
That were wet.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, we have a problem.
Oh, you're back.
That's okay.
Sorry, I think
we're back.
Zoom froze for some reason.
Zoom froze. Yeah, that's all right. We're back.
Okay.
Okay, so I've got a couple of questions from you that a few people have sort of sent through because we put it out a few days ago. Ask a couple of questions, and how do you prepare for the Gibb? As in, what is there something special you do and people should know about? And how do you plan to, I suppose depending on how long you're going to be there, like some people fly through it, others, take their time and pretty casual about it. You guys, I think, are going to be in that end.
We're more towards the casual side, yeah.
So Allan, you'll do the outside.
Yeah, so realistically, when it comes to planning for the actual Gibb itself, I'll just go over the van, go over the car, go underneath everything, make sure everything's tight and secured, all the wheel nuts and all that sort of thing. Have we? We're going. No, we're still good. There we go. Sorry, it just froze on our end. We don't like to put a time frame on anything, so we don't sit there and say we're going to do exactly 7 days. We don't book anything. We don't do any of that sort of thing. We just wing it as we go through. If we decide to do a station, we'll just give them a call and see if there's anything available. If not, we'll just stay in free camps the whole way through.
Yeah.
I mean, with Mount Hart here, we kind of just winged it and hoped for the best. We knew it was bush camping, so we thought there would be a big area.
Yeah.
So we kind of just hoped that there was free space essentially. And there was. So yeah.
Yeah, well, that's
And
typical of the Gibb though. Like nothing is booked, and it's just rock up, and generally you can find a space somewhere. Some of the free camps can get pretty busy though.
Yeah.
When we stopped in Leonard River the other night, it was, or would have been 50 plus vans in there, and you had to kind of just tuck yourself into a little area, and it was very much a game of Tetris as well. Like where we were situated, we actually had to wait for other people to move their vans and cars and everything out before we could actually get out of where we'd parked up because we got locked in.
Yeah. So
what
do you do on the inside then, Jess?
So pretty much I just take the microwave stuff out and lay towels on the shower, so then we can put out anything that we don't want to be rattled around or have loose, we kind of put in the shower. Throw some towels and stuff. So but other than that, I don't really do anything.
I mean, knock on wood, none of the cupboards have ever come open, the fridge hasn't come open, none of that stuff's ever been an issue.
We locked the fridge, that's right.
Locked the fridge. But we've never had anything fall open on the inside so far, which is great. We're not really too concerned with any of that stuff. So
things can happen.
Things can happen, but so far.
Good.
So far it's been okay.
That must mean you must have your tire pressures fairly okay if things aren't bouncing around too badly.
Yeah, the car I generally run on 25 for out here in Gibb and the corrugations and that sort of thing. 25 seems to be the go. And for the van, I've been running it at 35 on the dirt, and everything just seems to sit there nicely.
Nice.
Well,
those sort of tire pressures, hopefully you won't do any damage to car, van, and yourselves as well.
Exactly. I mean, punctures happen, things happen, unfortunately, stuff like that. But running at 35, I figure it's a safer option than anything else. So.
Yeah, I think I was roughly around 35 on the van while I was on the Gibb last year. So, but it was a bit of playing around, just getting where you thought was comfortable, and enough to sort of get up on top of those corrugations where you didn't feel every bump.
Yeah, and that's it. And from when we left Leonard River to the turnoff to come into Mount Hart here, I think we were averaging sitting on around 70k an hour. The road was just cruisy. It wasn't rough. It wasn't tough, anything like that. You still had obviously a few slowdowns, but it was simple driving.
Yeah.
Nice. So where did you get obviously you don't have, being a casual traveller and not knowing how long you're going to be there, how do you prep up for food and things like that? Do you big supermarket shop and have a little bit left in reserve?
We have an average time frame. So Allan wants 3 to 4 weeks. So I was just like, we'll just make sure we have enough for that amount of time, I suppose. But bearing in mind, we'll probably have a meal here and there at one of the stations if we stay there, or we might get some meat from the stations.
Before we headed out from Broome, we did our top-up shop in Broome, and it cost us almost $400. That was to fill up everything that we were already missing, plus stockpile a few extra bits and pieces and that sort of thing. So we do keep extra pantry gear just in case we do get stuck for longer than we need to, like tins of baked beans or 2-minute noodles, or just basic simple stuff just in case we do get stuck. But beans in general, tomatoes, and,
fresh food, which getting fresh food sort of from supermarkets, and it's not going to last 3 or 4 weeks sort of thing. So it's obviously stock up what you can and eat it while you can.
Pretty much you start the first maybe 2 weeks with fresh stuff, and if you can, you get some along the way. But generally things like, pumpkin, we often just buy a pumpkin and wait until towards the end, and that can just be in the cupboard or bouncing around somewhere in the van. Those kind of vegetables that don't necessarily need to be in the fridge can bounce around, and then you've still got fresh stuff a bit later on. So
the sort of stuff that has a good shelf life.
Pretty much.
But then things like bread and that sort of thing, there is a couple of places along the Gibb where you can buy bread, but you're looking anywhere from $10 to $20 per loaf,
and usually frozen.
Yes, correct. Yeah. So I mean, Jess normally makes our bread, so she'll just make like flatbreads and wraps and stuff like that. So we we don't really ever have to buy bread too much,
Yeah.
which is a good money saver, but also we never really run out that way, which is handy.
Yeah.
What about having a beer?
May have stocked up in Broome before we left. Bought extra just in case. There are a couple of spots along the Gibb where you can stop and purchase additional beer and that sort of thing, but it will cost you a fortune.
Yeah.
So biggest tip there would be buy whatever you think you're going to need for your crossing, and then a little bit extra, because you'll probably have a few extras when you're sitting down by the fire and relaxing and enjoying. So
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's well worthwhile. And a lot of the stations, if you do go for a meal, you can usually, find a bar that's open in some of them, and
Yep.
not so much takeaway sort of alcohol, but you can always sit there and have a beer or a wine.
Yeah. We actually popped up to the bar last night here at Mount Hart. They've got a little free shuttle bus that comes around the campground, picks you up and takes you up to the main bar area. And we went up
good's
there
that?
and sat around the communal fire and had a couple of beers and relaxed. And again,
You don't have-
it's it costs what it costs, but like for the beers themselves, I think it was $13 for a Corona, which
okay.
Which is pretty standard,
Yeah.
realistically up here
Yeah.
is what we're finding.
Yeah.
So
At least you're not drink driving to get back to the van.
correct.
All right, so a couple other questions. I know you're obviously doing a bit of free camping and stations by the looks, but what's the plan to have you got a plan what you want to look at along the Gibb? Is there anything special that you want to go see? Places
we
like
do aim to go to most of the gorges that we can. So we know that Leonard Gorge is, I believe, still closed. As of yesterday, it was still closed. I haven't checked today. Just the access track to that is closed. But after that, there'll be Galvin's, Bell Gorge, Adcock Gorge,
Manning.
And then probably some of the ones from the station. So Mount Elizabeth has a couple of really nice gorges.
We're pretty much going to try and tick off as many of them as possibly can that are open. We did a lot of them last time we came through, but this time there's a lot more water around. So we're interested to see what they look like more full compared to how dry they were last time. So we're very, very keen to see pretty much all of them that we can, really.
Yeah.
Manning was pretty amazing. That it's a big walk to get in, but it's the reward at the end of it's pretty good.
Yeah,
definitely. And that was September
when we went through last time.
Yeah, so it was very late in the season last time. So this time will be.
So no water was flowing over the waterfall?
No, it was.
Only just.
It was?
But yeah.
Only just.
Okay.
Whereas we've seen some recent photos and stuff from what it's like now, and it's a proper flow, proper waterfall.
So we were able to walk up to the top of the waterfall and take photos at Manning Gorge last time.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So yeah. Which
is the plan
cool.
to get up? Is the plan to get up to sort of Honeymoon Bay area? Columbaroo
We're not
Road?
sure.
You ask tough questions. The road has only just been reopened to Columbaroo. We've got a couple of friends that are. Well, yeah.
Is it ever graded?
Yeah.
We've got a couple of friends that are up there at the moment. They've left their van at Drysdale and they've headed up, but they don't have Starlink or internet or anything like that. So we're sort of waiting for them to get back into internet range, and then we'll hit them up and ask them what the conditions are like and make our decision from there.
Wow. Okay. Be pretty awesome if you did. Have you been up there before?
No. So that's another reason why we do want to get up there.
All right. All right. So you're obviously going to be swimming in most spots, as someone suggested.
I did.
And Jess does like a walk, so it looks like you're going to be doing plenty of walks to water holes and wherever.
Do you want to mention about the one that's here?
Which one?
One that's closed for driving.
Oh, yeah. So there's one here called Annie's Creek, and it is closed to drive down there. So normally it's a drive to get to. We actually don't know anything about it because there's not a lot of information here, and because a lot of the workers here are seasonal, they also don't really know. So they've actually closed the road to get to it, but you can walk, I think, from the turn off to, they've barricaded the road. So
Yeah.
from that turn off, you can just park your car and you can walk. But it is, I think it was 5.3 kilometers from that turn off just to get to Annie's Creek.
Yeah. So you're looking at almost 11 k's return,
Yeah.
and we're probably going to do that one today or tomorrow.
Probably tomorrow.
Probably tomorrow. So,
What's the temperature up there at the moment?
middle of the day, you're looking at mid 30s, early to mid 30s.
Yeah.
So it's not too bad.
But
Not
the
too bad.
Nice of a
sun's
night,
quite warm.
though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Getting down to between 10 and 15 at night at the moment, so it is a bit brisk, but then you just put a little campfire on and sit down,
Yeah.
relax around the fire and keep warm.
That is the beauty of the Kimberley. You can sleep overnight.
Yeah. It's not roasting hot or anything like that.
Yeah. All right. Got any questions for me? Anything in particular? Anything about the
couple of
van
people-
or?
Well, I want to know what van you're sitting in.
I'm actually, I decided to get out of the office and go out into the yard, seeing I can't get away anywhere. So
Yep.
I'm in a 20-foot bunk van at the moment, sort of a front island bed, couple of bunks with a ensuite off the side. It's one of our
Nice.
new sort of layouts.
Yep.
Yeah, nice.
So Goldstream are still playing around with new layouts and new designs and that sort of thing.
We've had this one probably 12, 18 months or so now, this
Yep.
layout.
Yep.
Seems to be a fairly popular layout for, the family sort of a van,
Yeah.
and it's got lots of features on it. At a pretty decent price, that we've sort of kept the same van, same sort of spec at one price.
Nice.
So it seems to be the sweet spot for that size van.
Yep.
Nice.
Yep. I suppose the only follow on to that, and I know I messaged you the other day about it, but we've had a few people inquire about rear clubs and stuff like that.
Yep.
What's Goldstream going to be doing many rear club things, or is it kind of, because you recently did one in a 22-foot, I think it was?
Correct, yeah. So the 22-foot one, which went up to Sydney, and it got sold at Sydney Show or straight after the Sydney Show.
Yep.
It is something that you have to have a truck basically to tow. It is a DO45, so it is 4,500 kilo rated. So unless you've got a Land Cruiser with a big GVM upgrade or something like that. Yes, we've got a 22-footer being built currently for our display stock here in Melbourne, and a few other layouts actually. We've done currently being built is a 21-footer with an oversized ensuite with a big corner shower. So there's a couple of new layouts. There's a new 19-foot layout coming through at the same time. So all a little bit different. A little bit of it seems to be at the moment push into caravans a little bit more. Customers are sort of requesting that sort of stuff. So I've decided to do a couple of bigger vans and see where it goes from there.
Yeah. No, that'd be very
the stock staple, that 1760, your van, pop caravan, the 1860 is, sort of the bread and butter, I suppose, what most people are chasing, but there's certainly a market out there for that slightly bigger van too, for that more full-time traveller that's got, a big enough car to pull something around.
Yeah, no, that'd be very interesting. I'll be keeping a close eye on all the socials and stuff to see some photos of those layouts.
Yeah, so over the next sort of 6-8 weeks, they should be, sitting here in the yard. Probably display them for their for their sort of first time in it. Maybe Melbourne Leisure Fest out at Sandown, which is sort of late September.
Nice. We'll have to keep an eye on them.
Yeah.
Another thing that we had somebody ask was they recently purchased an older Goldstream. I think it was somewhere between 10 and 15 years old. I'm not 100% sure. The two things they wanted to know was, do you guys service and repair older Goldstreams?
Yeah, definitely.
Can they contact you to get older owner manuals or anything like that for the old style vans?
We're fully set up, and you've seen it. Oh no, did you actually see it? Our full service centre, which is just down the road from us here at the manufacturing site and the sales site. The boys down there do a full range of servicing, repairs, alterations, whatever comes their way. As far as manuals go, like every van has its own manual from their individual appliances and whatever's in the van, all go with the van.
Yep.
So we don't
Yep.
keep copies of individual manuals.
Right.
Things like fridges, stoves, if they want information, I know Dometic you can download the manual user guide, straight from their website and things like that. But, as far as basics go, the service guys have done a couple of little YouTubes which, do a run through of a van, but manuals as such, no. Like I said, each manual goes with each van, and that's where they sort of hopefully should stay.
Yeah.
Yes, they should in theory.
They don't always.
They don't. Yeah, I know. I get it. The odd phone call.
Yes.
Chasing a manual.
The
So,
only other one that I've got for you, out of my own curiosity as well, is if you were to build a brand new van for yourself. This was for you and Narelle. Unfortunately, Narelle's crook, but that's okay.
yeah, she
What
might
would
have a
be
different opinion to me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Your number one must-have accessory for the van, whether that be the dust reduction or whether it be the suspension or whether it be just something inside the van, outside the van, whatever it may be. What would be something that you would not want to miss on a new build?
I know when we built our van last year, there was a couple of non-negotiables that my wife wanted.
Yep.
And I suppose it depends on the type of tripping around that you're going to be doing. If you're, using it as a weekender, you don't need all the gear at all. Obviously, if you're, lapping it and getting away for, 3 months, 6 months, whatever it might be, I think the washing machine worked great for us. Like, I don't think we'd ever build another van without one. It was just so handy. There was no queuing up, trying to find a washing machine that worked, blah, blah, blah. Everyone's heard it before. The other sort of
wall mounted?
yeah, same as yours. The other thing, I suppose, was the toilet. Like, and this was only just from customer feedback over the years that have fitted them, and we never used to do a lot. Like, it was one here, one there, and so I decided to do the composting toilet, and I think that's been ripper. That's been one good thing. I haven't got the strongest stomach of all. Got a big stomach, but I haven't got the strongest stomach. So, that's been a game changer, for sure. Suspension wise, obviously, depending on what you want to do, air seems to be the go these days. Everyone's sort of requesting it. And it's something that, again, depends on what you want to do, where you want to go, what you're towing with, and how long you're going to do it for.
Yep.
What do you guys think of it?
I'd probably agree with a lot of that. We were having this little chat ourselves only yesterday. My first thing, if I was going to do a new van, is if the budget allows, would be airbag suspension. It just tows beautifully, makes setup so much simpler. Everything's just easy. You just rock up and flick a switch and away you go. You're done. Washing machine. Amusingly enough, Mount Hart here has free washing machines. They've got two. There was a lineup, and it took about 6 hours yesterday for people to get their washing done in the free washing machines. Whereas we just stick the washing in the van and away we go. You can't see it here, but just off to the side of us there, we've got all our washing hanging up. So the washing machine is a massive, massive bonus.
And the composting toilet was definitely the wine anyway, because I used to have to empty the canister because Alan's stomach is very, very not strong.
Like mine.
You open those dump points at the cassettes and stuff, and they never smell good. They're never great.
No.
We did we emptied out and reset our composting toilet just before hitting the Gibb, and we're pretty well sure that we won't have to touch it again until well after we finish the Gibb.
Yeah, and that's the thing. There is no dump points on the Gibb at all. So, people that have got a cassette and they might get 3 or 4 days out of a cassette will generally have to have 2 cassettes.
Yep. And then can you imagine traveling along for a week or 2 weeks and then finally getting to empty?
No,
or it exploding on the corrugations.
Yeah. Actually, speaking about that, like plenty of water in the Kimberley, but drinkable water and stuff like that, or shower water. How are you going for,
so we topped
that?
up? Yeah, we topped up the van fully. So we got 190 litres in the van, but I also
Yep.
filled up our bladder in the back of the car, which is an additional 150. And I'm already now thinking that was unnecessary, to be honest, because we've pulled into Mount Hart here, and they've actually got completely
Potable
free
water.
potable water here, so you can fill up
Oh,
your
really?
van, you can fill up everything. Mount Barnett also has
Correct,
free
yeah.
potable water, so you can go
I know.
there.
I
and you can
remember
top
last
everything
year
up.
queuing up for water to fill up everything
Yep.
at
Yep,
Mount
yep. And
Barnett.
it's all. I mean, you might have to wait a little bit and queue up, like you said, but there is water accessible along the Gibb. So I'm looking at it and thinking we'll probably use the 150 liters that we've got in the bladder of the car, and then I probably won't top that one back up, and I'll just use
Yeah.
what we've got in the van.
Yep.
I think we'll have plenty.
We'll have way more than enough because
Yeah.
realistically, you don't really need to shower, like because you're swimming every day.
Because of so many water
Yeah.
holes you can swim at.
So,
Yeah.
like, unless you're cold or unless you really need to wash your hair or something, you really don't need to shower.
How's
And if
your
you
hair
stop
going,
at
Jess?
I mean, it's in a bun now because I'm waiting out until the day we leave here. Until the day we leave here, I'll wash it. But
Yeah.
aside
Yeah.
from that, yeah, it's already been a week. It's not too bad. It's a bit oily, but
Go for another swim.
Yeah,
Exactly.
That's it.
The other thing that I did want to mention was diesel. So fuel, diesel.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty much all of the stations along here do have diesel for sale. So
Yep.
you can buy it from the stations, but as an example, out here at Mount Hart, it is $3.20 a litre.
Wow.
It is.
so you
Wow.
pay for it.
Do they carry
Um,
petrol as well, or just diesel only?
Just diesel.
Yeah.
They're only carrying diesel out here, but not too far down the road is what's the community?
Imaging.
Imaging, yeah.
Down the road. Yeah. So
They're
they've got
diesel
fuel
only as
stations.
well.
Yeah. And I think they were around the $3 a litre mark last time I looked as well.
That's
Sounds
I think
right.
that's more expensive than what it was last year.
Yeah. We've
Um,
got 2 jerry cans on the back of the van, so we've got an additional 40 litres on the van.
Yeah.
Just in case and that sort of thing. But obviously we're just going to have to pay what we're going to have to pay. It's one of those things. If you want to do the Gibb, it's going to cost.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely can see where you're coming from there. You know, it's I carried, because I had a petrol car, I carried a couple of extra 20-litre fuel full of petrol in the back of mine, and I did use it simply because it was cheaper when I filled it up we went east to west, but when I filled it up at Kununurra before we sort of left, and then I think I put some in instead of putting it in at, I think I put it in at Mount Barnett and just topped up.
Yeah.
So it was, may as well use the cheaper fuel than paying through the nose for it.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what we're going to be doing as well. As we'll take note of where the next fuel stop is and that sort of thing. But otherwise, if I can start using the Jerry, use them to top up and then pay for what we need to elsewhere as we go.
Spiderweb.
All right.
Spider drop.
Spiders. All right. Well, great to catch up again.
Yeah.
If you got any questions, yell out as per, and enjoy the rest of the Gibb. So whether it's another 2 weeks or another month.
Who knows?
Who knows? You know that. You know us, Mitch. We don't know what we're doing.
Yeah. All right. So enjoy the rest of it and take care and have plenty of swims.
Yeah, you make sure to stay warm and try and stay out of that rain that's coming through.
Yeah, I'm a bit envious. Don't worry.
It looks pretty cloudy out there. I tell you what. I can see through that
window.
window.
I can see out the window myself. Yeah, it's not great. So
our windows,
Yeah, window to nature. Beautiful.
Yes.
No worries. All right, take it easy, and we'll catch up.
Thank you.
Will do.
Bye.
Speak soon. Bye.
See you, Mitch.
Bye.
See ya. All right, we can end it there, and I think I've got about 5 minutes left.
Yep. We got the same warning that popped up, and we saw it pop up, and we're like, hang on a second.
Yeah. That's the free version. See, we're cheapos.
No, we're the same. We've still got the free Zoom as well. Costs too much for the other one otherwise.
I don't know what it's worth. We don't use it enough to worry about, getting a pro version or whatever it's called.
No.
So swim today and take it easy.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
We'll head out to Then when we said Barker's Pool, we'll go and do that. And depending on how long we're out there for, we'll probably head out to that walk one.
I don't think we'll go out there, not in the middle of the day.
Okay, so we'll
Too
probably do the
hot.
walk one tomorrow then.
Well, so we're actually meant to be leaving tomorrow.
Mm.
Are you still recording?
Yeah, well, I am, but I won't go to air. Yeah.
So one of the things that you may or may not have heard of it. Have you heard of the Shitbox Rally?
Yeah. You were saying the other day on the phone,
So
it's
the
coming
Shitbox
through.
Rally's leaving Perth, going up to Darwin, and then take 8 days to do so. They're on the Gibb tomorrow.
So they're
going
at
from
the
Derby.
Derby end now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're leaving Derby tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
And they're going to get to Home Valley tomorrow afternoon.
What?
And there's
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like 520 Ks.
No way.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they've got 200 vehicles plus 50 support vehicles. There's 250 vehicles going from Derby to Home Valley tomorrow.
So
Yeah, I'd be staying there another day.
yeah.
Yeah. So we weren't originally going to be staying out here for as long as we are, but we're going to stay out here in additional because we do not want to be on the road with that.
Yeah.
Because we'd originally planned to only do 2 nights here. And then we're like, but we've got this call on the Tuesday. So that'll mean we won't get out till, 10 o'clock. And then by the time we get to a free camp, there may not be any spots. So we were like, we'll just stay 3. And then we heard the Shitbox Rally was coming through on Wednesday. And we're like, damn it.
Yeah.
But that's all right.
How much is it a night there?
65.
Wow.
Yeah.
You want to get
I'm
out
just
of
gonna
there
rotate
sooner
the
than
camera. Hold on
quicker.
a second. There we go.
That better.
That better or worse?
Oh,
No, we didn't go that way. That was
way?
my toe.
Yeah, that was your toe.
Just trying to make it a bit easier.
Is that better? Yeah, that's probably better.
Yeah, $65 a night at the moment out here at Mount Hart, and that's not anything like that. It's just
Yeah, I actually can't remember the pricing. I remember El Crestro being through the roof, but I can't remember what like Mount Barnett or the Manning Gorge Park was worth. I thought it was maybe 30 or $40 a night, but maybe it's more.
Manning's
about 45, and then you add on the pass to get like.
That's right. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you stay longer, the nightly rate reduces essentially because you just pay for the one access.
Yeah. You want to know the prices for El Questro at the moment?
Yeah, we spoke to him.
Oh yeah, we did.
Yeah. You said 130-ish.
Yeah. If you want to do a powered drive-through side, it's $144.
Fucking ridiculous.
And then again, you still have to pay for your access, like your vehicle pass to go out and do anything on top of that. So
wow, that is just madness. They've gone through the roof.
Yeah.
I don't think it was anywhere near that.
And it's like people have questioned before, they're like, is the Gibb expensive to do or is it cheap to do or whatever? It really depends on what you want to make of it.
Yeah. And like you could always, free camp it out at the Pentecost and go do bits and pieces of the El Questro Gorges and Amelia Gorge and whatever, which I think a lot of people do that.
I think you can get a week pass, which ends up probably being cheaper because if you're gonna like stay at the Pentecost and drive in, then and you do it over 4 days, then realistically it's not, I don't know.
But like even when we finish up out here, I think at the moment we're going to be heading to Marchfly Glen.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
we stayed there.
Glen, yeah, cool little free camp and stuff, and we'll do a couple of the gorge. No, we'll do Bell Gorge. Yeah, we'll do Bell Gorge.
Yeah, that was good.
So
that was a pretty gorge, actually.
Yeah. So rather than stay at Silent Grove and pay for that one, we'll just stay out at Bell instead. Marchfly Glen.
Yeah. We'll aim to because it's pretty busy and a lot of people do stay there. So we just got to get there early.
Yeah.
I watched your video last night. The one you just released.
Yeah.
Bloody ripper. Yeah, come up great.
Oh,
come up really, really good. So yeah.
Next one out, Spray.
Spray. I don't think we stayed there.
Yeah.
Hard to get into. Very
hard to get into. Yeah, we stayed in at Exmouth and just went down to sort of, down that peninsula part there, sort of thing.
Yeah.
So
easy way to do it. No, we had to do the good old 6 months ago, sit up till midnight every night trying to book sites and all that sort of thing. So
Crazy.
Yeah.
I think we're about to run out. So
I think
less
we
than
are.